for 116, the Biscuit Boys Magazine Hour, in association with Griffiths Clothing, can go on for probably an hour and 10. Okay, and we always give a shout out to artists who are featuring at Bands on the Beacon on the 2nd of July. We've got our own Biscuit Boys stage there. The Assist, who we're going to play, I was with the boys on Sunday at the Shirley Beer and Cider Festival. They are on the main stage. They are second headline in it. The Dead Sea Schools will be headlining it. Assist will be on before them. I would have the Assist headlining any stage anywhere on the planet. I think them kids are absolutely brilliant. So we're going to play out with the Assist their wonderful song, Wonderful, to everybody that sits, stands, listens and watches the Biscuit Boys Magazine Hour. Thank you, good night and God bless. Good afternoon.
Good morning, goodbye, good night.
Good night, darling. Take care of that throat. You're a big singing star now, remember? This California dew was just a little heavier than usual tonight.
Really? From where I stand, the sun is shining all over the place.
Speedway has 3 leagues. From top to bottom we have Premiership, Championship and the National League. Now it's been reported that Coventry are looking to join the National League. That's Birmingham, Eastbourne, Lakeside and now the Bees. Now, don't get me wrong, Coventry should be welcomed with open arms with all of our best wishes, but this rush to the bottom has left me with only one thing to say. You've guessed it, only in Speedway. So, a bit more music, please. So, we all enjoying our topical music.
Everyone from the place, come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I'll walk down the lane with a happy refrain, just singing, singing in the rain.
Good evening, everybody. Did you all enjoy that? Bit of singing in the rain. You think we're getting a bit topical? So we've got in the studio today, we have Matt Buck.
Good evening.
He's smiling, don't like it. Chris.
Good evening.
And myself, GA. How do we do? Where to start, I suppose. Let's just get it over.
Start at the top.
I'm not even going to reply to that. So let's just get this over with. Things are going rather well for the Wolverhampton E-Wolvie.
They're not going too badly at the moment, are they? So another fantastic win on Monday. It
was a big win, wasn't it?
Well, I was actually thinking it was going to be a close meeting with possibly Leicester edging it, but it was pretty comprehensive all the way through.
57 points, was it?
7:36 was the scoreline. Yeah, so as comfortable an away win as you can imagine.
You would have been happy with that at home, really.
Well, we have been getting those sort of scorelines at times, so to get them away as well. And as I've said, in the last few weeks, I mean, in all the years I've been going to Wolves, I've never remembered a season where 2 signings have completely transformed the team's fortunes. I mean, Rory Schlein and Jakob Torseller proving a really strong middle order pairing. Freddie Lindgren, as we've seen, has been superb. I think that's 5 consecutive maximums now.
I mean, you had 3
in the league.
3 paid maximums, didn't you?
You don't get that away from home very often.
3 paid maximums.
Chris Van Straten's going to be forking some money out, I think, for points money. So.
Yeah, or maybe you won't be so happy about that. So, I mean, I have to wonder: are they the strongest team in the league at the moment? I mean, they certainly seem to be.
Well, on current form, they are, without doubt.
All the other teams are tripping over each other.
Well, it seems to be a little bit that. I mean, it's not been quite as predictable, is it, really? I mean,
you've had Somerset going to Bellevue
winning,
and winning, and then changing 3 of their riders because they're not happy.
Yeah, Swindon going to Rye House and winning earlier in the season as well. So it's been unpredictable in a lot of senses, but really we've been excellent since we made the changes. And obviously the key, of course, is keeping it going and making sure that with the playoffs that you've informed the...
We haven't got there yet.
We haven't got there yet. Still got a lot of work to do. And I know from experience it's no good being excellent in May if you run out of steam.
As we're finding out in Birmingham, injuries are key.
That's right.
Absolutely key.
Keeping dry is a key as well at the moment, I think. So.
Keeping dry is impossible at the moment. Keeping dry, staying away from unexploded bombs.
Yep.
Apparently they've now found one in Dudley.
Yeah, not a Dudley Wood.
Not a Dudley Wood.
Is Dudley Wood the posh bit?
I don't know, but I did hear a rumour that the police were just going to let it go off because I thought it would improve the place.
Yeah,
but
good idea.
Not sure about that. Talking to Cradley, we should say that we've got 4 matches that we're watching tonight, so we'll have a look at them. Of course, Cradley are at the Isle of Wight, and the score currently there is the Isle of Wight 12 and Cradley 17. Danny Ayres on a maximum.
Although
Tom Perry on
Isle of
a
Wight have
maximum.
lost Ben Wilson, of course. He's crashed in his first race.
Oh yes, they've had some bad luck this year as well, haven't they?
They have, yeah. So
he went up under the air fence. Apparently he's okay, but has withdrawn from the meeting, so we hope he's fine. Swindon versus Kings Lynn. The score for that is Swindon 13 and Kings Lynn 17. Zach Vitanek, who again is another rider that's on really good form at the moment, really. He's got 2 and a 1. And Adam Ellis hasn't scored anything. Only in Speedway.
Well, we'll see Zach Votnick on Monday, of course, because Swindon are at Monmouth Green. So
yeah, that could be an interesting match. Actually, I think that they're
top 2 in the world, of course, meeting going head to head, of course, in Freddie Lindgren and Jason
Doyle.
Doyle.
I mean, we will talk about the Grand Prix in a bit, and we might even show a video if you talk to me nicely. Redcar versus Workington. And I believe Tom Bacon's guesting for that. And congratulations to Tom Bacon getting his first win in the championship last week. Redcar 16, Workington 20, and Tom Bacon's had a paid second and a third, so that's not bad. Beating Rob Shuttleworth, which he should do, really. Okay, and Sheffield versus Ipswich, and of course
there were doubts over this one, weren't there?
Yeah,
with the weather up in Sheffield as well. So.
But no, it still hasn't started yet. Giving it another 5 to 10 minutes. Riders are eager to get on with it, apparently. So that's going to be.
Get on with it.
5 to 10. I don't want them to get on with it. I'm worried about Jack Parkinson Blackburn if it's
wet.
If it's wet. Right. So obviously that's what we'll be watching very carefully in that match, because Jack Parkinson Blackburn is riding, and Ipswich is almost like a past Brummies side, with Danny King, Justin Sedgman, Kyle Newman.
Plenty of Brummies interesting, or ex-Brummies interesting in that meeting, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Danny King with the Witches as well, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Justin Sedgman, so.
Right, now before we go, we are going to have Liam Carr on the telephone in about 5 minutes or so. And what we would really love, I've got lots of questions here, but we want your questions, so if you can shove the questions on the shout box, or if you would like to shove them on Facebook.
A lot of shoving going on, yeah.
A lot of shoving. And that's, if there's any Berwick fans listening too, we'd like to know your opinions about
any club.
Yeah, but we'd like to know your opinions about what happened with Liam Carr at Berwick.
Oh yeah.
And obviously any other clubs, we want to hear from you.
Right.
Answer any questions. We'll pretend we know what we're talking about. That's the way it works.
And good evening, Anthony Boyd.
Yeah, that's the way it works. So anyway, Webby, would you like to tell everybody how they can
Okay, so
participate?
if you're on Facebook, it's pretty easy. If you go to a lot of the Speedway sites, I think we're on Speedway Friends, we're on the Brummies Speedway, we're on the Speedway Supporters Club, we're on the UK Speedway Tavern. Also, you can go to www.srbradio.com and you can join in the chat if there is any on that as well. There you go.
Well,
and tune in as well.
And tune in,
us on tuning.
There's lots and lots of ways for you to take part. So yeah, we really I was going to say, really want to see your fingers moving. That's another show. Really want you to take part. I'm so sorry. Right. So, so you've got Swindon on Monday, weather permitting, of course. That's going to be an interesting match.
Well, it will be, yes. I mean, Swindon haven't got a brilliant record at Wolves over the years, but
as you said, Jason Doyle,
Freddie Lindgren, so that should be worth watching. But really, at the moment, you struggle to see anything other than Wolves winning matches at the moment, because it's just the team's strong all the way through. Nathan Greaves obviously may be the weak link, but again at home, the last 3 or 4 home matches, he's been picking up 4 or 5 points, which is all you need from your number 7, really. Well,
interestingly, Paul Stark's been let go.
That's right.
it's a thought, isn't it? He's been riding really well, hasn't he?
He was excellent at Monmouth a couple of weeks ago with Somerset. He had 2 really good race wins and looked very fast. Maybe surprised that they've let him go, but of course, obviously, they're trying to juggle the averages and trying to see if they can fit riders in.
Do you think, and I'm particularly looking at the top 2 leagues here, that there's been a lot more sort of hatchet jobs, if you like, with riders? Liam Carr being a case in point, at Berwick being just, you're not doing what we want you to do, we're going to get somebody else very quickly, very early on in the season.
There has been a bit more of it in recent years, I think. I mean, certainly Wolves have always been traditionally a club that have persevered with riders, possibly sometimes too long. But, I mean, certainly last season and so far this season, Chris Van Straten and Peter Adams have been very quick to ring changes. Obviously, you'd like to see British riders being given a little bit longer, but I suppose at the end of the day, it's a results business, and if you're getting poor results and they're affecting your crowds, then maybe that's to maybe press the panic button and make changes.
It is a difficult situation, and the only way I can see that being solved is by there being, you have to have a certain quota of British riders in the team.
Well, I think it was mentioned a couple of years ago that they were targeting possibly 4 British riders per team. I don't know whether that's still the case.
Because the difficulty has always been EU regulations, isn't it? But that's sort of
not going to be
going to be a problem.
We don't know, do we? We don't even know what they're doing at the moment. Really, with the
do they know what they're doing? Let's not even go there. Thank you very much. Say hello to Ruth Hannah and Anthony Boyd, who both come on our chat box and said hello. So hi, would you want to take part? Your questions would be gratefully received. And as I say, Matt will pretend he knows what he's talking about. I won't even bother trying that anyway. So we're going to have a little bit of music now while we set up an interview with Liam Carr. So just hang by your radios, your computers, however you're listening, and in a minute we'll be back with Liam. Okay, welcome back to the Speedway Tavern. All fingers crossed, hopefully all the technology is working and we should have Liam Carr on the other end. Are you there, Liam?
I am. How are we doing?
Okay, fantastic. We've got music coming through.
Yeah, that's coming off now.
Okay. Okay, so Liam, welcome to the Brummies, mate.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be there.
How are you settling in well with the rest of the team?
Definitely. I mean, the boys that are there, I couldn't have wished for it to go any better. The way we've clicked straight away from the very first meeting, so more than happy to be there with a good bunch of boys.
Fantastic, because I think that's one of the sort of things that have been key for us over the last 3 seasons, really. We seem to have had a really good team spirit, and you seem to have cottoned onto that almost straight away.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're all. I've dealt with almost all of them. I think it's only Macaulay that I haven't dealt with before Wednesday, but no, I get on very well with them all so far, and I'm sure we can all make an even bigger link up during the rest of the season, and we'll crack on and get another 3rd title now.
And of course, joining the Brummies was a sort of one side of a double-edged sword, because you almost immediately heard the news that Berwick didn't need your services anymore. So I would imagine that one of the things that you're trying to do is put yourself in that shop window now for another championship spot.
Definitely. You know, everyone that gets into the sport just wants to keep going forward. You know, but sometimes you have to have some bumps along the way, and you've got to be able to accept the lows along with the highs. You know, so it was good for me to get signed up with Birmingham, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity there. And unfortunately, I had to make way for someone else at Berwick, but like I say, all the best to them with the new team they've got, and hopefully they can crack on as well now.
And you certainly made a very big impression on the one night that you managed to ride for us because of the weather. Yeah, I mean, you was very, very fast, and I'm guessing that you liked the track.
Oh yeah, I mean, I couldn't have asked for it to be any better that night for your first one. Definitely. So it was nice to get back to winning ways as well. I haven't done much winning this season, so to come and do all 5 rides on the night and win all 5, like you say, fairly quick, you know, was very nice for me to do.
And so I'm wondering now what your goals. I presume you've had to reset your goals a little bit after what's happened. What your goals are for this year now?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to set too many, you know, like I try not to be too set on doing something in particular, you know. And mostly I want to concentrate on having fun and get back to enjoying it, because obviously the way it was going with Derek, I wasn't scoring many points, and it became a bit of a chore, you know, getting up and travelling to somewhere to go and ride when you're not feeling it. Like, it's a horrible feeling to be going to a meeting and almost believing that you're going to struggle, you know. So hopefully if I can just have fun and enjoy riding my bike again, that's the biggest thing for me.
Well, that certainly came across, I think, last week, that you was having fun. I was just wondering, actually. I mean, obviously, yesterday as fans, when that rain came down, we were all terribly disappointed. I would imagine, as a rider, it's probably double the disappointment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, this season, like, rain-offs haven't been a problem, but getting the text to say that was off yesterday was hard, because I was really looking forward to coming back, and I was planning on scoring the same again yesterday, so a bit of disappointment having that rained off yesterday.
We've got a couple of comments on our shout box here. So Ian Faultless said he saw Liam guest for us at Rye House last year, so he was well chuffed when he signed for us.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I can't remember exactly what I scored there, but I remember having a fairly decent meeting. I think I might have only dropped 2 or 3, but no.
I bet if I know our audience, I'll put your score up with bonus points and everything soon. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know on that one. So, what's your career highlights so far, Liam?
Like I say, I've had a couple of really good things happen within it all, and but I've said before now that, like, the fact that I'd had such a bad season this year at Berwick so far, and one of the biggest things for me is the fact that I've had the faith of Birmingham to sign, and I had a really good first meeting and impressed everyone and impressed myself, in fact. So to be fair, that's up there straight away. So
Okay, I'm going to ask you some real cheesy fan questions now. So here we go. What's your favourite track?
To be fair, I wouldn't like to pick one. And this sport's a very big head game, so when you're picking favourites and you're picking least favourites, you start to believe that you like that place, so you have to do well, and you don't like that place, so it doesn't matter if you don't do so well. So I like to try and believe that I like them all the same. But if you really want me to pick one, I would probably have to say Peterborough.
I think we all agree with that. We all like Peterborough.
Yeah, Peterborough's a great track.
Great track. Yeah, actually, I remember asking the same question of Kyle Legault many years ago, and his answer was they're all the same. They've all got four corners, and you go left on them all. So
yeah, that's it.
So I think that's right. So, which rider is your favourite rider that perhaps you look up to the most?
I've got two really. I mean, like in recent times, it was probably Seb Alden because I got on really well with him here, and we did quite a bit of stuff together, like golf and stuff, and I just enjoyed like the way he rode the bike and made it look so easy. And he's just like when he was going good, he was just fantastic to watch. Then as a rider to have looked up to, that was definitely Paul Clouse at the time, because he was one of the ones in the team when I first started watching, and he was one of the ones that made the most effort with me as a fan at the time, obviously. And, so he's definitely one to look up to for me.
So, talking about making an effort, one of the things I noticed last week, was it last week? Is it 2 weeks ago? I can't even remember now. Our last meeting, anyway. Was after the meeting, and after you had a little interview with Ryan Guest. The first thing that you did was go up to, I think it was Kyle Roberts, and you was coaching him on how to get out of the starts. Yeah,
I was just trying to give him a hand, because obviously when you first start, I mean, you're not 100% sure, are you, with what the best spot is off the start line. I thought I'd give it a go at packing her up for him and just seeing if he found any difference. And he did come in, and he was really pleased at what I'd done, and just that little thing that might have helped him that one night might make a difference to his next couple of meetings, you know. So it was just nice to be able to give him a hand.
Well, I think we all sort of noticed that, and were impressed that you were in that sort of team spirit almost straight away. So that was really, really good to see. I think Matt's got a question. Have you? No, he hasn't. Okay.
There's one on the shout box.
Oh, we have one on the shout box. Okay. From Anthony Boyd. Good luck, Liam, with the rest of the season. Hope you enjoy your time in the Midlands. So that's more of a comment than a question, but
No, but thank you very much, and hopefully I can keep doing the business and making it as enjoyable as possible for everyone that's going to be turning up and watching us win meetings at home, and hopefully win meetings away as well.
So at the beginning of the season, we all had a bit of a bet in the studio about who we thought was going to end up being the Brummies number one this year, because we felt that there were 3 or 4 riders that could possibly do it. Now, I'm not going to suggest that you're going to be number one, because I've not got a very good track record there, because the person that I chose was Daniel Hume, and obviously we know what's happened there. But I was wondering whether that would be one of your goals this year.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's always good to have a bit of rivalry within the team to see who can push for that top spot. But to be fair, it's a team that's been built there. It doesn't matter who's at number one. You're still going to have firepower within the whole team. So I would really like to be able to take that off whoever it is next. Jack, I believe it's going to be soon.
Jack, yeah.
And I get on really well with Jack. He's funny. He's a funny lad. So hopefully we can have a bit of banter and a bit of rivalry on who's going to take it next. But like you say, there's 3 or 4 people in the team that could rotate every time the averages change. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and just all the best for the season.
And, no problem. Thank you very much for having me.
And hopefully we'll have you on at the end of the year with the trophy for the third time. Yeah, that would be really nice.
And number one would do okay as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, no worries.
Take care, mate. You take care, mate.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice lad, I think.
Yeah,
nice lad.
Grounded as well, I think. So
I loved his answer about not sort of saying any track's a better track or a worse track. I was going to ask him what his worst track was, but I'd obviously, after he answered that question, there wasn't a lot of point. So, in a moment, we're going to have a chat about the Grand Prix. But before we have a chat about the Grand Prix, we've got this little video from the Grand Prix for you to all look at. Hope you enjoy it. Have you got that?
It's already?
Brilliant.
Here you go.
There we go.
Unbeaten. Lindgren and Woffenden on 5. What a lineup for heat number 12.
You said that before tonight, and you will say it again, I'm sure.
I wouldn't say it anymore.
But you couldn't
resist.
resist.
12 times.
You may have done, you may just have done. Fabulous lineup here for heat number 12. Riders in top form, 2 unbeaten riders on the inside 2 gates. Freddie Lindgren, well, he's been riding fantastic. Lindgren and Woffenden, of course, have been teammates in the UK, and Woffenden was very impressive last time. Something's got to give.
Yep, heat number 12 it is, and it's a great start from Jason Doyle. He has made an absolute beauty. Lindgren goes wide, Woffenden charging hard now. Now Lindgren up the inside! Where has he found that from? That is a great ride from Freddie Lindgren. Doyle's going to come back for more! Doyle up the inside! Lindgren still going strong. Woffenden's back in the mix. What a race in heat number 12.
Fabulous move from Lindgren to get the better of the Australian, but he read it brilliantly. Doyle at the front. Lindgren now back to the front. Doyle's going to come back up the inside. Repays the compliment. Now Lindgren's at the inside. Fantastic speedway. Doyle winding it on once again round the inside. Woffenden's in third. Just over an up to go. Lindgren leads. That allows Doyle back to the inside. Wonderful, wonderful speedway.
It's the edge of your seat here. Doyle now, outside run. Can Doyle get him on the line? To the line we go!
Lindgren hangs on.
Whoa!
Sensational speedway. Speedway out of the top draw. Doesn't get much better than that. 4 riders on the night. Doyle away from the takes initially. Calm down, Kelvin. Calm down.
Was that a cracking race, or was that a cracking race?
Well, that's one for people who say that Speedo is all about making the start. So
I did feel a bit sorry for Ty Woffenden in that, because he just managed to be in the wrong place every time.
Again, so.
Yeah, but and can somebody answer me a question? What does Speedway out of the top draw? What does that mean? That
Top draw. Oh, that sounds like
no sense.
It's like an old Tony Butler sort of saying, really, isn't it? Or more, maybe Tom Ross. Yeah.
Speedway out of the top draw. Okay, fair. Well, no, I don't understand that. Freddie Lindgren. Everything's going all right. I mean, everything's been going well for you and Wolves at the moment. I can't just stop smiling. Stop smiling.
Before we go back to the Wolves, just another couple of comments. Well done, Liam. Great interview from Lee Carr.
Okay, well done, guessing.
And well done, Liam Carr. Well spoken. Good luck from Bud's Florist. There you go.
And you know, something I forgot to. I've just looked at my notes, and I do apologise if you're listening, Liam. I didn't mean to ask him about his sponsors so he could give them a mention. That's really bad of me. I do apologise for that. If somebody wants to put them up on the shout box, that would be
sure.
That would be useful. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Freddie Lindgren. It's all going a bit too well, isn't it?
Well, I mean, his form at the moment is not just in the league, but in the Grand Prix. Has been excellent. I think he's benefited from obviously riding these engines for a year.
Well,
he's got that advantage over the other riders.
I was going to mention that.
So I think I said last week, didn't I? He's a rider who has never really been in contention for winning a world championship, but at the moment, if he's going to do it, it looks to be as good a chance as he's ever going to get.
Well, he seems to be picking points up through the actual Grand Prix, but when it comes to the final, bang.
That's right.
Which I think is the way to win a championship.
It's really amazing that a rider of Freddie's quality has only won 2 Grand Prix, and he's been in the GPs now for 9-10 years, on and off. So really, you would say he's possibly underachieved at that level.
Do you think there's going to be a big rush for these GTR engines on the back of what he's doing.
Well, I mean, he's at the moment he's certainly got, as I say, he's got that advantage because he's had plenty of experience of riding them now. I mean, 5 successive maximums in the league for Wolves. Admittedly, it's not a massively strong league.
No.
But I look at his form. I remember 2009 when I think it was 7 points that he dropped at home all season, and one of them was when in a race when he had an engine failure. He's probably riding better now than he did in 2009.
That probably comes from confidence as well.
That's right. I mean, Freddie's one of these riders really looking at it from a Wolves perspective, who, when the team's going well, it sort of galvanises him, and maybe not so much when the team's struggling. So at the moment, can't really fault him. It's a long old season. He's benefited.
It's not as long as it has been, though, is it?
Well, he's benefited probably from the fact that you look at most of the rides in the GP. He's done a lot more meetings than most of them, as has Jason Doyle.
Yeah.
Of course, he's had a good start to the season himself in the Grand Prix. But I mean, that track again in Warsaw. I mean, it was excellent last season, excellent again this season, and they really have now. It looks like they've finally cracked the business of.
The temporary tracks.
That's right. I mean, you think not too long ago, some of the tracks were near death traps, weren't they?
By the end of the meeting,
certainly the end of the meeting. Bar after 8-1 normally as well in some cases, but they've got them. They seem to have cracked it now to get.
You do realise you should touch wood when you say that. The one thing that I mean, it was a good meeting. There was some great cracking races through it, but one thing that I've noticed, we've only had two Grand Prix, but we've mentioned previously that, and it has been mentioned in different places, that the lineup for this year's GP is probably the strongest it's been for a very, very long time, and it does seem to be that riders are taking points off each other, that nobody's getting away in the Grand Prix meeting itself. As we mentioned before, Freddie just seems to be able to have that extra bit in the final at the moment. I mean, do you think that's going to carry on like that, or is somebody going to emerge?
I don't think. I think the days of riders just walking away with it, certainly with the current field that we've got, are gone.
Well, of course, the rules have changed as well, which make it a bit more because there's
there's nobody really run away with it in the last few years, have there, to be honest. I think probably the last one to really run away with it was Nicky Pedersen, and that was sort of 10 years ago.
Yeah,
nobody's really done it since.
But I mean, then in those days you had all this double points business, and in the semi-finals,
you weren't just battling each other; you were battling the track in a lot of cases
as
well.
That,
But no, I mean, the JP's been hyped up this year with the strength of the field, and if you look at what happened in Warsaw, I mean, that's what we've if that's what we've got to look forward to, then it's bring it on for the rest of the season.
Okay, so we've just to change the subject a little bit, we've just had a come over at the meeting's been abandoned at the Isle of Wight versus Cradley. That's a shame. This rain, I can't remember a start to the year like it for Birmingham. We might as well go through the rest of them while we're here. Swindon versus Kings Lynn.
I'll just reload that.
It is now 20-34 to Kings Lynn at Swindon. Wow, I don't think I'd have picked that.
I wouldn't have picked that, to be honest. So maybe not so much like Kings Lynn winning, but Swindon.
I'm now hoping it's going to rain.
Well, they've been a bit hit and miss. Roscoe's probably doing a rain dance, isn't he?
Yeah.
So.
How many heats are we up to in that match, by the way?
9.
One more to go, and it becomes Redcar versus Workington. And
I seem to remember Roscoe doing his rain dance at Perry Bowden one time.
I remember that, yeah. Redcar 28, Workington 32. They've got a good team this year, haven't they? Workington.
But they're not running away with it,
Tom Bacon's he's got replaced by Richard Hall in his last race. I presume they're doing a bit of a switch round for him.
Yeah.
And Sheffield versus Ipswich, has that actually started?
No.
Off.
No, it's been postponed. So I'm going phew, to be honest, because I was a little bit worried. So there's just the two meetings still live.
Yep.
Poor Roscoe. I shouldn't have smiled when I said that. So back to the GP. So we've got Freddie Lindgren at the top and Jason Doyle. Is the winner going to come from that? I presume.
No, I don't think so. Well, it could come from them too, but
Yeah.
it's too, you can't rule anybody else out. To be honest, it's with the number of GPs that we've got, there's going to be different riders performing in different Grand Prix. It's just a case of who can maintain that level of consistency.
And it's injuries as well, of course, isn't it? Greg Hancock, has he finally become human?
Well, I think the thing with Greg is, I think, with the age he is, once he goes into decline, I think he's going to decline fairly quickly, to be honest. He's going to struggle to maintain that sort of consistency at 46, 47 years of age, which he is now. But, at the end of the day, we've written him off before and he's come back and proved it.
Too many times we've written him off.
In fairness, if he still enjoys it, and he's always said that as long as he still feels that he's capable of becoming world champion, he's going to carry on racing. So,
which is fair enough. And I mean, he hasn't been disgraced. He's not bottom of the pile by any stretch of the imagination. But
I think his old mate Nicky is at the moment, isn't he? So,
yeah, well, that was the next. I was going to say exactly the same question about Nicky. Perhaps they shouldn't have had that wild card.
Well, I think they were probably always going to go for him because of he's
a drawer,
previously successful, and he's still a drawer. He's still box office, Nicky is. Probably, flawed genius. I think is probably my fairest.
I might go with half of that.
Yeah, I just.
Emil Sayfutinov.
Mixed stars.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps he's found it a bit tougher than he was expecting, or I don't know. It doesn't seem to quite have the same je ne sais quoi. I don't know what that means.
I thought Del Boy was in the room then.
Steady. But he hasn't got. Doesn't seem to have that same fire. You might disagree.
It may well take him a couple of JPs to get back into it. I know he's done the European competition, but again, another one who's more than capable of turning it round. He came close to winning it 3 or 4 seasons ago, and then obviously had the injury which allowed Ty Woofenden in to take the title. So maybe it's just a case of him getting back into the swing of it, but I certainly wouldn't be ruling him out just yet.
I'm so glad that we had this put on. So Lee Carr's just put on for Liam's sponsors. Liam would always like to thank his sponsors in Colin M. Easton Plumbing and Heating, George Hepburn and Son Builders, Williamson Brothers Coal Merchants, Bud's Florist, The Pilot Inn, Beveridge Carpets, Berwick, Jim Youngman Carpets, Energy Tuning, Cornhill Shop, Taffy's Time Machine. I want to know about Taffy's Time Machine. I want to know more about Taffy's Time. You want one? And Sat One Racing, and last but not least, his mum and dad. Well, there's the important ones. Isn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
He'd also like to thank his mechanics for this season in me, Steve Burton. That's not me. That's Lee Carr, by the way. No, that wouldn't. Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea. Stevie Burton and at Birmingham, Mick Shepherd. There you go. I'm glad we could do that. That's great stuff. I do want to know more about what is it? Taffy Time Machine. Taffy's Time Machine.
Yeah. I reckon that's a calf or something like that.
You reckon?
Yeah. Was it in Wales? Probably isn't it? Taffy. So.
I want to know more about that. Okay, so if you could just pop the links document up for me, we'll have a look at what else we've got. Thank you very much. So yeah, let's go bringing home the bacon. Can we guess what that is?
Not Danish bacon. My dad used to work with them.
So this is
many years ago.
This is about Tom Bacon.
No.
So yeah, we can just read. This is from Peterborough today.co.uk. Tom Bacon roared to glory in the second heat of the bit thick, isn't it? He roared to glory in the City Club's 47-43 defeat. At the hands of Newcastle last Saturday night. The 24-year-old who raced for it's
against Newcastle.
Who against Newcastle?
That's Saturday night.
Yeah, I wanted that race. He said I wanted that race win since the start of the season, and I'm delighted to have got it now. I found it really tough in my first season at this level, but I haven't allowed my head to go down. I've worked really hard with Phil Crump on my engines, changed my riding style and focused on making better starts. It shows I'm capable of riding well enough and that my bikes are fast enough for this league. One race doesn't make me a top rider, but a couple of but a couple of tough meetings don't mean I'm a bad one either. I'll stay focused on what I'm trying to do. I think we won't read any more of that because it's going a bit weird. Yeah, I've noticed. I think it's just a confidence thing with him. I do think that the referees are targeting him this year at the starts.
Possibly.
I really do, because he's getting lots and lots of pullbacks, and sometimes, at times when I think he didn't deserve to be pulled back, when actually I thought he'd sat pretty still.
Maybe becoming one of these riders with a reputation, even sort of tarnished unfairly.
Well, you shouldn't have
similar to James Sargent, really. Another one
you shouldn't have reputations, or at least if you do, referees should ignore reputations and should just go on what they see in front of them. Sermon over. World Under 21 Championship. I think that's happening this weekend.
Yep.
And we've got 3 riders in it.
That's right, yes.
So good luck to Robert Lambert, Josh Bates and Adam Ellis. I think it'll be his last chance for Adam Ellis, won't it? Lambert and Ellis will be going to Eskilstuna in Sweden, while Bates will be the lone Brit at Terranzano in Italy. Good luck to them. I've no idea who they're lining up against, so I've no idea whether what chances they've got. But we certainly seem to be doing a lot better in these things now.
Better than we were. Robert Lambert, you'd say, has probably got the best chance of the 3.
Yeah, I would say so. But well, good luck to them. This is a little something that I picked up. Waffy not ruling out returning for Team GB.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have a look.
Well, he can't really burn his bridges completely, really, to be honest. So.
Well, I suppose so. Double world champion Ty Waffiner is refusing to rule out a return to Great Britain colours at Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup level in the years to come. He insists he is taking a year out of the tournament, but is keen to emphasise he has never said he has quit his nation. Woffington underlined his desire to represent GB in a special one-off FIM pairs event at this summer's World Games, which takes place at his Polish track Wrocław on July 29th, but he is currently being overlooked for a team place. Yeah, what do we think of that?
Cutting off the nose to spite the face, maybe. Or is it the sort of event the BSPA aren't really taking that seriously?
Well, I don't think they are taking it seriously, because it doesn't bring them any money in, does it? But it does bring publicity in, surely.
Oh, without doubt, yeah. So.
Yeah. But cutting those off to spite the face, you could, I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, you could almost say that didn't Ty Woffington do that when he said he wasn't going to ride for Team GB?
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there, to be honest. Do we?
I don't think we'll ever hear the full story on what that was about.
I wonder whether maybe he felt that they went a little bit over the top in all the sort of celebrating getting second, because I suppose Ty's attitude probably would be, well, if you finish second, that means you're a first loser. That's just.
Well, yeah.
But we haven't finished in the medals for a long, long time.
Well, I think both views are valid.
Well, that's right, yeah.
It's as simple as that. Ty said, I would like to represent GB in the World Games. It's at my Polish track and they know I want to do it. I've had a chat with Alan Rossiter and explained things, but at the moment it seems I won't be at the World Games, which is a major disappointment for me. It's great to have Speedway at the World Games. It's the first thing.
Well, that's right, yeah. So.
Somebody asked me, I actually took a new person to watch Speedway when we didn't beat Stoke.
Yeah.
And she didn't stop talking about it for days after. So that's this sport is still has the potential there. So it is good to see that it's at the World Games. It'd be great to see it at the Olympics. It's not going to happen because there is no motorsports in the Olympics, but that would certainly be one to put it on the map, wouldn't it? Okay, and shall we have a look at the National League tables then? Yeah, we'll have a look at the league tables. There's not really been an awful lot of movement because there's not been a lot of matches.
Yeah. Well, putting the colours back on the track's been more movement, isn't it?
But the top 4 in the National League are Bellevue, Birmingham, Eastbourne and Cradley, with Kent in 5th place. I don't think that's necessarily going to end up the top 4, actually. But looking good for a top 4 place.
Yeah, well, I mean, you may well fancy Bellevue to stay in that position, because they do look to be the strongest team.
They do look very good. They do look very
Crowley
good.
have been mixed, haven't they? I mean, they surprised
Well, they lost
having
at
to
home,
against
didn't
Millwall
they?
also.
Yeah,
I mean,
so Mildenhall's, look, they've only got 3 matches against Cradley's
and you
5.
can't rule out
so,
Eastbourne either with their home track advantage. So,
as we say,
Lakeside, again, I think they'll do well at home. Whether they'll be quite as dominant
they've
on the
been
road.
a little bit disappointing, haven't
I think
they?
they've disappointed so far. Lakeside.
Yeah. Okay, shall we have a look at the Championship? I think last year the Championship was the most exciting league.
It was the closest one, wasn't it? It was
one, yeah.
a lot of competitive meetings. In
So Edinburgh, Glasgow, Ipswich and Sheffield in that order. You need to be Scottish.
It's unusual to see Redcar so high up in the league.
It is, isn't it?
They've had a lot of meetings though, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't think Ipswich is in Scotland, actually.
I said, which is why I said the top 2.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
if it's the top 3.
Dear, we can't get the help.
Funny,
Can
He's
we?
not a bit pedantic, isn't he?
Yeah.
It would have been his face.
Oh dear. Yeah, I can't pick a winner from that league at all.
I went for Newcastle at the start of the season. So.
Yeah, good call.
Good call, yeah.
Good call.
Well, it's a long way to go yet.
I went for Ipswich, so we shall see. We shall see. And shall we have a look at the Wolverhampton League? Sorry, the Premiership League. You promised not to smile.
That is a great. That's we look at that 8-point lead already. So
Yeah,
it's,
8-point lead, and only two matches more than Poole. So it's Wolverhampton, Poole, Bellevue, and Rye House in that order. First thing that to say is well done, Rye House.
They've had a good start.
They've done well, haven't they? I mean, that's only on 6 matches.
I did fancy Rye House at the start of the season to do well. So they've they'll be. I think they'll be pleasantly happy. They'll be pretty happy with the way they've started. I mean, they're obviously in the top 4 at the moment. Whether that'll stay that way, I'm not so sure. Not massively surprised to see the teams there in the bottom 3.
Yeah, although Leicester's quite happy.
Yeah, Leicester, they're not
on the bottom at the moment.
Not at the moment, given time. So they might well be bottom if they keep having performances like that on Monday.
Well, it wasn't great, was it, from their point of view? Yeah, I mean, so at the beginning of tonight's show, I was talking about Coventry possibly joining the National League and this rush to the bottom. When you look at the leagues, you've got 8 in the Premiership, and was it 10 in the Championship? And I can't remember how many in it. It's not great, is it?
It would be nice to see more teams in them.
We need more teams.
We had, mind you, in saying that we had 8 teams in the Premiership last season without the extra meetings like the Knockout Cup and the relegation promotion playoff. And you've still had clubs doing double headers trying to get meetings in. So, I mean, I think really one of the things that's really affected Speedway is the loss of, definitely the top league is the loss of regular action at the weekends with the Polish League. I think I've said before the Polish League opening its doors to foreign riders has done a lot of damage to British Speedway over the last 25 years.
I don't see what the answer is on that score.
Well, it doesn't help that the Poles don't seem to even want to cooperate with us, to be honest, is it?
No.
So they don't want to cooperate with the Danes or the Swedes either, by all accounts.
No.
Obviously they've got their businesses to look after, and that's what their target. That's what their priority is, which is fair enough. But
except you can't live in a vacuum, and if Poland become the only speedway nation in the world because of their actions, and I'm not for a second saying that's what's going to happen, but it's a potential. If they become the only speedway nation in the world, they'll lose speedway as well, because you can't live in a vacuum. You can't.
Well, they need to realise as well that a lot of these riders need to be riding in other leagues to earn money to be competitive in the Polish league. So,
anyway, is that updated? Is that updated?
Yes,
Yep.
updated,
Swindon 32, Kings Lynn 43. Well, Kings Lynn have got that, haven't they? They'll be happy
the
today.
Kings Lynn fans will be happy to see Chris Holder riding a bit better, because he's not had a best
He's
start at Kings
only
Lynn.
dropped 1 point. Jason Doyle's doing really, really well there. He's on a maximum, including a 6-point tactical ride.
It's been a great meteoric rise with Jason Doyle over the last few years.
It started at Birmingham, didn't it?
Yeah.
That year at Birmingham, it's when he. And I'm not claiming any. I'm not saying that's a causation. Obviously he put the work in it, but it did. It started.
This is a man who, to all intents and purposes, should be the defending world champion this year, because I think he would have won it last year if not been for the injuries.
But injuries is part of the sport, so. Not that you can do. Red Car 32, Workington Comets 40, and Tom Bacon's had 3 rides and got 3 points. That's a good night for Tom.
Solid night,
I would say. Ben Barker is on a maximum, and Jason Garrity riding at number 1 has only dropped 1 point for Red Car. Despite all of that, Workington are winning. Craig Cook dropped 1 point, which would probably have been to Ben Barker. So, all good stuff. Good luck, Tom. It's nice to see him starting to, because he was getting lots of zeros, wasn't he, initially?
That's right.
Right. Well, I think we've come to the natural end to our night. Have we got any more reactions?
No. Still people on now listening and that like. So,
okay.
Upcoming meetings.
So, upcoming meetings, yes. So we have Wolves
on
versus Swindon, and you're going to do a little bit of research and tell me where Cradley's going to be riding next, and hopefully a busy week for the Brummies next week.
Hopefully a dry week.
Yeah, well,
that
would be that. Yeah, so because we've got Buxton on Wednesday, and then the following Monday we've got. It's gone out of my head. We've got another match.
Isle of Wight on Monday.
Isle of Wight, that was it. Yeah, we have the Isle of Wight. Both matches that we should win.
Theoretically, yeah.
We need to win.
Mm-hmm.
We want to stay up there. Is the thing.
Cradley are at Buxton on
Sunday. 21st, and on Sunday the 28th, the week after, they're at Lakeside. They haven't got a home meeting until Monday at the 29th.
Two home mixed fixtures in May. That's not really very good, is it? So,
no.
I mean, the next home fixture should be a cracking one against Bellevue. So,
and June 14th reserved at Birmingham. Nothing there yet. Okay. I'm looking forward to meeting them again because they beat us far too easily. I don't think they're going to beat us
far too easily. It was only a couple of points, wasn't it? Really, but
that's far too easily for me. we never looked in it, did we?
Well, compared to the 20 points ones of 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, well, less said about that, I think. So yes, going to be an interesting week. Let's everybody please pray for some dry weather.
That's right.
Because I've had enough of this rainy stuff now.
I need to remind people there is no Speedway Tavern next week because I'm on vacation.
Again?
That's French.
I think you just did that for us.
Yeah.
You did a very good job of reminding everybody that you don't ever do any work. It's as simple as that. So no Speedway Tavern next week. But
sorry about that. Yeah.
But there will be the following week. Everybody take care and see you all soon. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What do you need to know? Have a drink.
into that club we saw on the net. We try to distance ourselves from our lovers and our friends, yet we should be one and tell tales of how our hectic nights end.